It all boils down to this. Our 5 entrepreneurs pitch their own numbers to Mr. Finance himself, Mr. Damodaran. It's a numbers game, and today they'll have no one to blame but themselves.
We started off the pitch with 12 contestants. We're now down to 5, and in the next few minutes we'll be down to 4, unfortunately. Today you were asked to present your own business ideas, unlike the other episodes when you were presenting other people's business ideas and other tasks that were given to you. So I think you're far more comfortable with the subject, as well as should be. You were asked to talk about numbers today. Some of you were shy to talk about the numbers, or were the numbers shy? Mr. Damodaran here had lots of observations, and I'd like to ask him what his general observation is as to the proceedings today.
Let me start with the positives. I think as I heard these 5 young people, the thought that came repeatedly to my mind was that young India is full of ideas, full of productive ideas, great ideas, and I think that's the way to go. Clearly, I saw a lot of passion, I saw courage of conviction, but alongside that, maybe also an occasional tendency to gloss over what was inconvenient. You thought that there was something that was worth doing. You needed to get there, and therefore you either did not recognize some of the issues that might confront you as you get there, either pretended they didn't exist, or thought that they were far simpler than they actually were. That I thought, I won't say was a recurring theme, but did surface on occasion. But contrast that with the positives, the desire to succeed, the desire to keep at it, not throw in the towel. I think those were huge positives, and I take a lot of heart from that. I think that is something that will keep this country going at a fast pace.
I think though the presentations were very, very forceful. And there was a lot of conviction, as you say, and a lot of passion. I can't agree with you more. But the moment of truth. I'm going to ask 3 of you actually to step forward. Abhinav, you'll have to step forward. Valerie, you'll have to step forward. And Shreyas, you'll have to step forward. Well, you can congratulate yourselves. You 3 guys are safe. Good luck to you, and very, very well done, actually. Well done, sir.
Yeah, I think there are 3 different challenges that the 3 of you will face if you are to be the ultimate success that you want to be. One of you will have to persuade me to read comics. One of you will have to persuade me to make missed calls, which I haven't made a habit of that yet. And I think the real challenge, one of you will have to persuade me to buy those shoes.
Maradona shoes, maybe.
Right, but keep at it. I noticed that you're not the guys that will give up without trying.
Well, it was about numbers, and according to Mr. Damodaran, your numbers added up, and that's a huge, huge nod. So, thank you, goodbye. You don't want to leave for some strange reason, please go. Why don't you 2 step forward? I don't know where to start, but I'll tell you, Saurabh, what was your presentation like in your own opinion today?
I was quite prepared, but I think since I was the first one, I was a little anxious. And then I'm working for the banking security, and sir is like, 38 years, so it was my days so that he came along. So I was a little worried about that, but I think I made most of the points. I have just 3 points to clarify with you. I mean, maybe I'll get the time.
So in your own words, was it a great presentation?
No, not presentation.
It wasn't a great presentation. Do you think that there is a great chance that you might be eliminated today?
I think if the criteria for which other 3 guys have got saved is that their numbers added up, I think I can also well stick to that, and I can explain to sir. I think this.
Okay. So we've had our time. We've had our time.
Okay.
But I still couldn't make this out, about being nervous because you were the first.
You've come in first many times.
I think, sir, it's not entirely because I was first. Many things added to it. I think the main thing was, like talking to you about banks, and I knew, I have to be on dot. Obviously, my data is backed. I think that was a little fear. I was more conscious, but once I went out and I realized that, okay, I should not have done that. I think that took a little toll on me today.
It did actually, unfortunately. So I just have to tell you that it did take a huge toll on you. Puna, How was your presentation today, in your own opinion?
I think my presentation went off well because I stressed enough on the opportunity and the areas that we are focusing on, and then I had the entire financials broken up in 2 phases and also talked about the cost separately, the business model which leads up to the revenues and the investment plan. So that had completely been broken down clearly to make sure the correct parts were highlighted and presented so that could make sense.
But that was an area we feel that was not broken down properly.
I think maybe it was because of the way it was presented.
So you feel that the presentation was not...
Maybe the way it was structured because I had...
This was a presentation about numbers?
Yeah, totally.
Did you feel that you were a little number shy today?
No, not really, because the numbers were
Mr.
completely...
Damodaran did ask you at one point
Yeah,
that,
that's right.
why haven't you,
Yeah, because I mean, if we think about the presentation, all the numbers were actually present till the detail, and all did add up in terms of the cost structures, the investment plans, as well as the revenues. Maybe it was not presented in a regular Excel sheet format, but broken down into 3 different sections and then presented.
If you were seeking investment from someone,
Right.
is this the way you would have presented the numbers? Because you're here seeking investment.
Right. I think I would say I would be able to convince because it presents a very clear story in terms of the investments, the cost, as well as the revenue projections. And if you see the phase 1 and phase 2 tied up with the opportunity, then it's a very convincing story. The next step would be to obviously go into term sheets and details and break up into those figures.
That was what it was all about. Don't you think you glossed over the numbers, maybe?
No, not really.
You took the numbers for granted, maybe?
No, actually, because there was enough effort put in, the numbers came from solid backgrounds, the solid background work was done. And if you actually look at the numbers were presented maybe in a different way apart from an Excel sheet.
That's not what Mr. Damodaran is saying.
Okay.
That's not what he was saying. It's not the format of the presentation. It's whatever way.
Sure. Okay.
Whatever way, those numbers have to add up, whether they are, without a television monitor behind you, which comes out straight off your head, because talking numbers to this gentleman is...
Yeah, I think I was pretty convinced from my side that they added up. It was just the way I kind of put it on the paper. But I think that way...
I didn't do that. I think food should not only taste good, it should appear good. I think today I've seen better days. My food didn't appear that good.
As far as we are concerned, today's show was just that. It's about the numbers adding up. Whether your numbers have added up or not, I'll let you know. Whether your presentation, as you said, didn't look good but tasted good, we'll know.
Sure.
But I think maybe we do need a small... This is the performance here. I'm going to get up there, stand up right now and come and shake a hand. The hand could be the one that did not add up, or the hand that I shake could be the one that did not present as well as he should have. Who deserves to go? Who deserves to stay?
See, if I may add one thing.
I think we've...
Just one small thing, if you don't mind. So you said,
I will give you some advice after this is over.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
I kind of know very well.
This is a tough one, really.
This is a tough one. Because as I said, does one add up, and does the other one added up as well as he should have?
No, there are no losers in this business.
This is what Mr. Damodaran actually genuinely feels. We're very sorry for that. We're losing a really, really fine young man.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
You did great, all these shows. Congratulations, you're still in the shows.
Now let me give you the advice
Yes.
that I promised
turned
to
around,
give
yes.
you. Never argue a case after you won it.
Okay.
But you didn't know whether you won.
That's to be fair.
There were 3 gaps from my side. I thought
But the argument is over, judgment time has come.
Yeah.
So if you continue arguing, you might annoy the judges.
Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
You seem to have had a very emotional day today for some reason. When Mr. Damodaran walked into the room, you had tears in your eyes. When Kunal is walking out instead of you, you have tears in your eyes. Baat kya hai?
Nothing like that. It's just the moment, because we are so close to it, right? I mean, it's a dream which all of us have just seen some time back. And many things will become reality with this money. So I think...
Are you sad to see Kunal go?
Yeah, definitely. He's my roommate since we have come in here. He's an engineer come MBA just like me. So we share a lot of things in common.
Mr. Damodaran, thank you ever so much for being here.
Thank you. The privilege
You
is mine.
made me a richer man today. And I'm honored. Thank you very much.
It's my privilege.
Thank you, sir.
If I,
Opportunity.
If I have a case to be argued anyway, you would be one of the first guys that I would reach out to.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Right, and take my advice seriously. Right. Thanks.
Kunal, I think it got tougher and tougher. But you know something? It's getting tougher and tougher for me also. It's not very easy to come up here and shake hands with someone who I feel should have been in the final episode. This is my opinion, honestly speaking. Maybe it's like Mr. Damodaran said, that you are a lawyer fighting a weak case. What is your opinion?
I think specifically regarding Mr. Damodaran's feedback, I see the point. Maybe it didn't come out clearly to him in terms of how it should have been projected.
Well, in that case, it's not a great presentation then.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the way I feel, because there was no problem from my side in terms of the numbers. I stand my ground in the sense that I knew what I was talking about. Having said that, I also take away from Mr. Damodaran's feedback that in my case, probably there is some room for improvement in thinking about how to project it. Maybe it's about projecting differently as well.
Who do you get along best with?
I think Valerie and Saurabh, both.
Okay.
Valerie and Saurabh, both.
This we call a reality show.
True.
But the real reality is real life. And as far as I'm concerned, in the real world, not on a reality show, you're going to do very, very well for yourself, and I, for one, will miss you once again.
Thank you so much.
Lovely. Chalo, ek jappi de de yaar.
Thank you.
You're great.
Thank you. The experience here at the pitch was excellent. The opportunity of interacting with other entrepreneurs, getting to know about their businesses, their aspirations, their struggles was excellent. The opportunity to interact with business icons was amazing. It was an out-of-the-world experience because you don't really get so much time with such people on a regular day. So, I mean, it was excellent. The whole experience was marvelous for me. I had a great time.
With that, we come to an end of another incredible episode of The Pitch. See you next week, where you'll meet India's brightest young entrepreneurs, India's biggest business icons, and of course, me. Bye-bye.
Next week on The Pitch.
We welcome a man who understands the strength of this wonderful organization implicitly. Vice Chairman of Tata Chemicals and Director of Tata Power and Tata Technology. Put your hands together and please welcome Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan.
How would you think Tata should go about globalizing its various portfolios and businesses? Suppose you were asked to make this presentation to Birlas or to Mahindras, you could have said exactly the same thing. Just change the word Tata and it'll work.
It is an absolute pleasure to work with the Tata Teleservices groups.
I asked you the question, what will you do? So I've forgotten all my grammar, but I think you must start with a transitive verb, if I remember right, a verb. In 10 years' time, somebody says this business is going down the tube because Shreyas Srinivas won't get out of the way. What did I miss? What was the flaw in your presentation?